Hi, welcome back to the channel Tarot Yogi. I'm Vinit. I read tarot intuitively, and today we have another timeless pickacard reading on why are people addicted to your energy? Why are people obsessed with you? So we have three piles to choose from. Pile number one, we have Trionfi della Luna tarot deck. Pile number two, we have the Diablo tarot. Pile number three, we have Tarot of the Witch's Garden. So take a minute, see what pile is being called to you intuitively. The description box below will have the timestamp for your pile. And again, remember, these are general readings. So please take what resonates, leave the rest. And if you like my style of reading, please like this video. Share, subscribe, comment. It means a lot. It helps the channel grow. And if you want to reach out for a private reading, you can definitely do that. My email ID and my Instagram handle are given in the description box below. So you can definitely reach out for a private reading. And I will see you guys in your reading. Thank you. Hello, pile number one. If you chose the Trionfi della Luna deck, this is your reading on why are people addicted to your energy? Why are people obsessed with you? Okay, pile number one, we have Eight of Wands, which jumped out. We have the Hierophant. We have Page of Swords. We have Ace of Cups. We have the High Priestess. We have the Moon. We have Knight of Swords, Judgment, and we have Four of Cups. And this is definitely my pile of my witchy psychic babes. You're definitely a tarot reader here of some kind. You could have a tarot channel, or you could be into astrology or spirituality, but I definitely see that you are someone who definitely uses your gifts and helps other people, whether you choose to do it on like YouTube or just in real life. However you choose to go about it, you're a natural healer is what I'm getting. And by that, you could very much even be into healthcare. You could be a doctor, you could be a nurse, anything like that. But even if you're like working in the corporate, you still have this very healing energy. And I think you're definitely the therapist friend for a lot of people. And why are people addicted to your energy? Why wouldn't they be addicted to your energy? Because I think just being around you is very, very healing. And you always seem to have the answer to people. So you could very much be channelers over here. And it's a really powerful reading because we have the Hierophant, we have the High Priestess, and the Judgment in alignment. And that is a very, very big deal. So you're someone who really takes time out, especially in your solitude, to get the answers that you need. You could very much even love to study and read over here. You could read occult books, or you feel called to read occult books right now. So you should definitely jump in the fire, because I'm getting this fire imagery at the back of this High Priestess. So whatever knowledge you have, you're meant to share it in this life. But coming back to why are people addicted to your energy, it's because you have this sort of divine presence about you. And like I said, I think it's just your aura. I think people like being around you. Even a lot of animals may be very attracted to you, especially birds, crows, cats, things like that. Animals may just start following you. Even in the sea, I'm getting like fishes and jellyfish. So any sort of animal, they will feel very, very attracted to you. And any sort of animal will feel very, very attracted to you, because again, you have that healing and this very sort of disarming presence. And so I shared this meme yesterday on Instagram, and I'm just paraphrasing. It was something like, my toxic trait is expecting wild animals to tame themselves just because they feel my vibes. So that's definitely the energy I'm getting over here with you. And you may have, I think even in romantic partners, you may have attracted just the worst of the worst. And even then, I think you did have some temporary healing effects on them, but I think people still have to do their own work whenever necessary in order to truly heal. So you're definitely like the source of light and this pillar of light to a lot of people. And I think you have this beautiful, quiet confidence, which you know how to wield. And you're definitely someone who's very, very wise. And it really takes a very special kind of individual to be as wise as you are, because I don't think wisdom is just given to anyone and everyone. And in order to even inherit that kind of wisdom that you do have, you really sort of have been put through fire and ice and everything in the middle. So you have really earned this space for yourself. So especially if you're someone in the public eye, you're going to shine. I feel a lot of you are even being called here to write books. It could even be verbal or it could be written knowledge, but you have to share knowledge. And I think the more you share your knowledge, the more you will start getting more attractive. You'll get more magnetic. You will start glowing. And I think you do understand that it is in giving that you receive. And I think another thing, I think a lot of people can't pinpoint about you what is it that they truly love. I definitely feel you have some strong 12th house, 8th house placements, and there's something very mysterious and there's this very deep allure about you. I'm getting like siren energy. So people cannot always pinpoint what is it about you that they find so attractive. And even if you're not like conventionally attractive, you're still very, very attractive over here because it's just your allure. It's just what you're emanating, the energy that you have, pile number one. And we have the moon card again. So you're definitely the therapist friend. Like I said, you're the healer friend. And I think that not always, but I think most times it does put you in like a very tricky situation because you feel as if you can't really have friends because you're just always helping people. And I definitely feel you on that, pile number one. But I would say just be open because right people will come in for you who, they will be the sort of safety blanket for you that you are for other people. And I think you especially, I think you are very compassionate. And one thing I definitely understand about compassion from my own experience is that we can never truly be compassionate unless we really go through something that someone is going through. And it's only then that we sort of have this recognition of compassion. And I think especially if you are this spiritual, you will have no choice but to expand your compassion. And that doesn't always happen in a very nice, fluffy kind of way. It's always a very painful ego death kind of an experience. And that's what I mean. You have really worked to get this way. So it's definitely your pure vibes and your disarming vibes that people find very, very attractive about you. And despite you being in this very sort of yet balanced, we have the Hierophant and the High Priestess. So you're very balanced and you're feminine and you're masculine, and you always answer the call. We have Judgment, and you take action, Knight of Swords, and nothing can even keep you down for very, very long. So I think a lot of people might have tried pulling you down, but it has never really worked. And even if you do get bored from time to time, and I understand your boredom because I think your boredom is coming from the fact that you feel as if not a lot of people really see you for who you are, and people maybe just are very shallow and they look at you in terms of your body, your looks, things like that, your brain, what you have to offer, your cloud, things like that. But I think you really want someone to really see you for who you are, your own sort of inner depth over here. We have the Moon card. So you are very deep. And I think most people just barely get to scratch the surface with you. So just know that the right people for you are coming in. And the more you focus on grieving, I'm definitely getting that you need to grieve certain things out. The more you're able to grieve, the faster you will fall into alignment. So again, I would say your thoughts and your feelings, not the problem. The way you sort of react to it, that is the problem. The narrative you sort of create for yourself out of the sort of thoughts and feelings you have, that becomes very detrimental, and that makes you suffer even more. And yes, suffering does even have a sort of a function. It definitely makes you compassionate, like I said. But the more you're able to be aware, the more you're able to you will be able to sort of detach in a very natural sense. And by detachment, I don't mean having a positive or a negative charge towards anything. It's sort of being it's like having a default charge. You're not an electron, you're sort of just like a proton, I think. Yeah, science references, just forgive me on that. So like I said, you don't stay bored very, very long. And I feel the more you focus on grieving, the faster you will fall into alignment. Yes, that's what I was talking about. The faster you will fall into alignment, and the sooner you will be able to meet people who will truly see you for who you are. And I feel it is a part of your destiny over here to definitely be with someone who's going to make you really, really happy. You're going to have your version of the white picket fence. Whatever it is, you're going to have it, pile number one. So please keep faith and know that I don't even think you need to keep faith. I think you just know, we have the High Priestess. So you just know. And I think it's just a matter of time till you really get the blessings that you truly deserve over here. And you do deserve it. So if you have any sort of imposter syndrome, if you have this sense of, I don't deserve good things, that needs to go. So like I said, the more you process your grief, the more you deal with it, the more you are able to be gentle and kind with yourself, the easier it'll be for you to integrate. And I think I say it in all my videos, and I'm going to say it here as well. Going through changes, it's really important to ground yourself. It just makes everything less painful. So do yourself a favor and ground your energy whenever you can. Go out for a walk, even 5-10 minutes. Walk bare feet on grass, ideally. But even if you can't, maybe just go out for a walk alone. I think that will really, really help you, and it'll make your life less painful. Trust me. So please ground your energy. That's also a message over here. And I feel a lot of y'all have very, very big destinies. I think that is also something that, again, people cannot point out that you have like a big destiny, but they definitely feel you're very prodigious, and they don't know where you're going to go, but they do know you're going to go far. And I think you may have had a lot of people tell you that you will go far. And I do feel that there's also a lot of jealousy because it just comes with the territory, right? Pile number one. So I think you need to just focus on not taking things personally and understand that not everyone is on your level. So they might feel a certain kind of way. And I think you do have that compassion because you have also been there. You have been ignorant. Like I said, to be at the level that you are, it it really takes the best of the best. And even then, a lot of people don't make it. Like spiritually, I mean, a lot of people just go back to their 3D lives, which is also okay. But I think you understand you're playing in the big leagues, and I think the more you give, the more spiritual work you do, the higher your vibration will become, and the lighter your frequency will become. So the more magnetic and more attractive you will get. And like I said, if a lot of y'all are in the public eye, if you write, if you paint, if you create, all of that is very, very divine. So just know that, and keep putting out your best work, because it's definitely you who can do it if there's someone who can do it. By number one, and I think you know this, you definitely have this beautiful sort of resilience about you, and you shine very brightly like a beautiful star in the dark night sky, right? And it's only because of that sort of juxtaposition of this duality of light and dark. It really makes who you are. And I'm getting this image of a cat. Like cats always fall, and they always sort of land on their feet when they fall, right? So you definitely have that. It's almost like you have this sort of a divine cushion whenever you fall. So even if something is being taken away from your life, if you lose something better always comes in. And I think you do realize this. So always show a lot of gratitude for that. And I think people also love how you communicate. My eyes just went to the Page of Swords. I was really focusing on the other cards, but you definitely have a way with words. You definitely are like a wordsmith over here, is what I'm really feeling. So if you really want to write or speak, I think you would be good at both. And I think you need to give both things a try whenever you can. So don't run from your destinies is sort of the message over here. And I think you will age like fine wine. It doesn't matter how old you are. I think the older you will get, the prettier, the more handsome you will get. And it's because it's sort of the byproduct of all this spiritual work and all the sacrifice that you have been doing. By number one. So just know that it's all going to be super worthwhile, and now is not the time to give up, even if you feel very exhausted. Really just give your best right now, because you're really it. You're really it. Pile number one. Shuffle some oracle. Okay, pile number one, we have the Penguin card, which reads authentic. Reach out to your tribe in time of need. Family gives you strength when you face the storm. Love your uniqueness. You're full of surprises. Break free from other people's expectations. Just be yourself. So I feel you must have been bullied a lot, things like that, and you have been not understood. And I think you will understand the deeper reason for it. It's because you were supposed to have this deep sense of compassion for anyone and everyone. And that is something that sets you apart from a lot of people. This is definitely my pile of light workers and shadow workers. And you always have someone, even if it's not someone in the physical world, because in order to be this spiritually ascended, you need to sort of choose solitude over other people most times. You cannot ascend so far, right? So I think it's important that you reach out to your family if you have them, to your trusted friends, or even if you don't have someone, you always have your guides. So please just ask them for whatever is it that you want, and anything that is in your highest alignment will be given to you, no questions asked, and sooner than you think. I think you don't just realize the strength and your ability to manifest. It is so dominant, and it is so powerful. So, and again, we have the personal choice card, and it reads, close your eyes. What animal do you imagine? What strengths are they known for? What wisdom do they have? Embrace these qualities. So I definitely feel you are a mirror. You are a mirror to a lot of people, and you're so energetically advanced that you can mimic the other person's energy even subconsciously. So you might be the person who doesn't always understand why you don't like certain people, but you just don't want to be around certain people, and It's just your bomb intuition, pile number one. And my personal choice, I'm really getting the mythical animal chimera over here, and chimeras were supposed to be very scary, and they were sort of an amalgamation of a lot of animals, and I feel that's what you are. You're sort of like this perfected rebus. I'm definitely getting that. You're very much balanced in who you are, and you know who you are, so it doesn't really nothing really shakes you because you truly know who you are, and you're very deeply rooted in that, and you can still put on different faces, understanding whatever the circumstance requires at that time. So again, this really makes you like a broken OP character in like a video game. So that's what I really feel about you, pile number one. And I feel the more you're able to just pour this love into yourself, which I do feel a lot of y'all struggle with, and it is a forever thing that, it's a cycle, right? We have to keep loving ourselves, especially when it gets really, really difficult. So the more you're able to do that, the more rewarding it will be, and the more you give, the more you will receive, and there is true love coming for you. So just be yourself. Don't don't ever compromise on your integrity. Just be yourself, even if, like, for example, do the kind of readings you want to do. Don't just keep doing readings which are very poppy, like even this one. Find balance and really say what you have to say, and still give people what they want from time to time. Again, I'm just giving a tarot example, but fit it to your situation. So you will just know what to do when, and I think you just need to focus more on doing and less on thinking, because you just know you always know what is the best path for you to your success, by number one. And yeah, I feel this is what makes you very, very attractive, because you do have a lot of eyes on you, because people want to see how far will you go, and I do feel you will go very, very far, by number one. Yeah. Any other messages? Yeah, that's all I have for pile number one. Again, it's a general reading, so please take what resonates, leave the rest. And if you like my style of reading, please like this video, share, subscribe, comment. It means a lot. It helps the channel grow. And if you want to reach out for a private reading, you can definitely do that. My email ID and my Instagram handle are given in the description box below, so you can definitely reach out for a private reading. And I will see you guys in your next reading. Thank you. Hello, pile number two. If you chose the Diablo Tarot, this is your reading on why are people addicted to your energy? Why are people obsessed with you? So we're asking angels, ancestors, spirit guides, sun and master star family, help me tap into why are people so addicted to pile number two's energy. You may have some messages in pile number one. Okay, pile number two, we have 7 of Wands, 3 of Cups, 10 of Swords, the Magician, Page of Pentacles, Hermit, Chariot, Knight of Cups, and we have 9 of Cups. So you could very much be in your very masculine energy. Doesn't matter if you're male, female, anything in the middle. Or I think even if your masculine energy is not something that comes naturally to you, you know how to switch it up whenever required. So I think growing up, you sort of didn't feel safe, and you sort of had to learn to protect yourself and just do things by yourself. And I feel a lot of y'all even had to be the parent to your parent, if that makes sense. And I think this has just made you honestly very invincible. I think you do have a lot of difficulties, and you may be having a lot of struggles, but you subconsciously understand that you always have the upper hand, and you're showing up here as the master. You're showing up here as the magician, which is a very big deal. So even if you're not very like spiritual, and even if you don't do occult practices, even if you're like a very real world kind of person, you just know how to manifest things and get things done. And I'm just getting this example of a very good businessman who is very stuck in the 3D, but he's a good manifestor, so he knows how to get money and do business, if that makes sense. So even if you are like a very worldly person, you just know how to create whatever is it that you truly require at that time, and it comes to you very effortlessly. So I do feel there's a lot of jealousy around you as well, pile number two, but I don't think it really affects you, and people really see you as very, very charming. I think you are a people's person. I think you get along with a lot of people, and even if you're not a full-blown extrovert, you again know how to switch it up whenever required. So you're very good at networking. You again know what to say. You're very good at just intuitively understanding what the room requires, and sort of being that trailblazing energy. Like, for example, you're in a club and no one is dancing, but when you start dancing, everyone around you starts dancing, because again, you sort of have this trailblazing energy just to lead and to get the fun started. So you very much could be any of the cardinal signs, but even if you're not a cardinal sign, you're very fiery, and you know how to get the ball rolling, if that makes sense, and that makes you super attractive. And I think you've gone through your own fair share of difficulties and betrayal. Like I said, you've really been put through the ringer, but it doesn't keep you down very, very long. And I think whenever you go through things, you don't always confide in people. I think you just retract within yourself. And again, this is like a defense mechanism that you have, and you've always had, honestly. And it honestly helps you a lot, I feel, because I'm getting this visual of the king cobra when it sheds its skin, and it becomes so vulnerable because it's trying to shed its skin, and that's the most vulnerable something like a snake is. And snakes are never vulnerable, right? They're really invincible. So even in that vulnerable moment, they're always hissing, and they have this sort of a defense mechanism which keeps other harmful predators away. And I think you do have that. You go back into your shell, and you shed your skin, and you let everything from past go, and you emerge anew like this much stronger and much longer and more a more durable king cobra, if that makes sense. I'm just getting the snake imagery for some reason. And to sort of dissect it a little deeper with the snake imagery, I feel you're very good at this sense of renewal. You're very good at just shedding things that truly no longer work for you, and you understand that it is a part of the process to get stronger. You're not lazy, is what I'm trying to say. You will put in the work. You will go through whatever it is, no questions asked. And I think you also take on a lot of other people's problems. So I think a lot of people are very dependent on you, and honestly, no one does what you do the way you do it. So you're very, very special. And even if a lot of people do what you do, pile number two, the way you do it, no one does it. And there's a true requirement for that over here. And again, I'm not going to specify this because it's a general reading, so fit it to your situation. But whatever you do, it comes from a pure space of purity and joy. And I think this makes you super, super attractive. And you are the perfect specimen of someone who people didn't think would make it because of their circumstances. But despite everything, you still thrive. And this really stuns a lot of people around you also, I feel, pile number two. But this is also something that sets you apart. And like I said, you power through whatever is it that is in your way. Again, this bike just went through, so you know how to make it through difficult situations, and you don't stay stuck in the pothole. You drive through whatever it is, guns blazing, because again, this is a very intense chariot card. I think it's really, really cool. And he's really sort of domesticated his own demons, and he's using that demon that was sort of going against him to his favor now, and is sort of making him do his bidding. So like I said, you have this very alpha masculine energy. It doesn't matter even if you don't identify as a man, but you still have this very alpha masculine energy, which is also super polarizing, right? So not a lot of people will like you, but people who will love you, but people that you trigger, they will really hate you, pile number two. So I think you need to understand to not take things personally, especially when people project onto you, because you are sort of like this beautiful canvas for people to project onto, right? You could even be super athletic. Is that what I'm getting over here? Or you could have been a very good athlete when you were in school. You could have been super flexible. And you're definitely a charmer as well. You're very, very romantic. You know how to get the girls, get the boys. You're very good at just, again, enchanting people. And I think you just do it unknowingly. You think it's just your looks, but it's not your looks, pile number two. Yes, it's your looks, but it's also what is in your eyes, and it's something very deep. It's something that people cannot always understand and comprehend, but there is true magic in your eyes. And I feel you could even telepathically just communicate with people by just looking into their eyes. And I think a lot of people do blush when they look at you, and I think you do notice this, pile number two. And I think you're very loved also. I think a lot of people like you. You're very likable also. So you could have any prominent Taurus placements, any prominent Libra or Pisces placements, because these are very likable signs, you know. So I definitely feel you could have any of those prominent placements, and you just have this charm and this allure about you, and it's very difficult to even hate on you, pile number two, to be very honest over here. And you always get what you want. You definitely always get what you want. And like I said, I do feel there are some spiritual people in this pile, but I do feel a lot of people in this pile are not spiritual, or you know, they want to get spiritual. But I'm also getting a lot of people who are very much in the 3D in this pile. But I would say you are where you need to be, and sometimes we are supposed to even enjoy the 3D world, and I think you do understand this. You don't really have guilty pleasure, if that makes sense. You really just take everything in as it is, without any sort of judgment. And like I said, you always get what you want, and you're very strategic as well. You understand that there are certain things that need to be sacrificed for a better future, for a better tomorrow, and you always do it. Again, no questions are asked. So you do have the gift of foresight, whether you acknowledge this about yourself or not. You just know what to do when, and people also feel very safe around you. I think a lot of people really love being around you because you have this very protective energy, and people know that they're not going to get hurt by being around you, especially people who have been traumatized. So you could very much choose to heal people if that's what you want to do. A lot of y'all could be nurses, doctors, something like that over here as well. Even if you're not like a full-blown tarot reader, Reiki healer, something like that. But whatever you do, you have this natural healing vibe. Your vibe is just, it's like it's going to be okay. That's your vibe. You know, you really are that comforting presence in people's lives, and I do think you come across people when they truly need that sort of guidance. And trust me, like me as a tarot reader, when I started doing tarot seriously, a lot of people were just put into my path who I just had to give messages to, and they were not even like my official clients. You know, I would just have people around me, like my post lady, my manicure lady, things like that. Just people would just come into my life who really needed certain answers, and I would just be in that place to give them those answers. So I think a lot of y'all don't even realize y'all are channels, and what you have to say again is very, very valuable, is what I'm also getting from that. So you are at the right time, at the right place, especially when it's truly needed, and you're sort of like the wild card, I would say, that God plays in people's lives when they really lose hope. So I think a lot of y'all need to really start valuing and understanding that what you have to give really has a lot of value, and it really can change people's lives. So I think the more you respect yourself, the more you love yourself, I think you will be able to even do more. And I do feel in this pile number two that you genuinely want to help. You just want to be of service, and you just want to help, and you don't understand how people can be so horrible. But even that is a part of your lesson over here. And what is truly beautiful about you, and what people find truly addicting about you, is especially people who know your past, they really see that nothing has phased you, nothing has changed you, nothing has made you worse. A lot of people become really bad after going through something traumatic, and it really takes a special person to integrate that trauma and distill the wisdom. And you are someone who does it just unknowingly. It's almost like you're programmed to do this, and this is why a lot of people do want to be around you. And I do feel a lot of y'all may not have always been super popular, but I feel you've had a series of glow ups, and you're going to constantly have these series of glow ups. So if you feel right now you're not very attractive, you're going to have a glow up, and you're going to have a glow up even after that. I feel you're going to have a glow up in these sort of phases, and I think it'll be on purpose to even help you see who is truly for you and who's truly not for you. So just keep that in mind. I think that's really important over here as well. And like I said, we have the Magician and we have Nine of Cups. So your ability to manifest is off the charts, and you should really make the most of it, pile number two. And if you're not, I don't know what you're doing. You really need to make the most of it. And the trick, see, manifestation is very, very tricky, and it means you also have a very powerful mind. And if you don't master your thoughts, if you don't master and sort of have tamed your thoughts, even the bad things can manifest for you much quicker than the good things also. Because it's sort of like you are on this speed dial of karmic lessons that you need to learn, and it's all happening at a very rapid rate for you because you're supposed to go to new levels in this lifetime. So I definitely feel that that is also a reason that when you make a mistake, the whack you get is a little extra hard, if that makes sense, because it's like you're the eldest kid in the family, if that makes sense. You're just expected to be extra responsible because it's just who you are. And I do think this is why a lot of people find you attractive. You could very much have daddy energy, even if you're not like an older guy, but you have this very protective, I'm going to take care of you energy, which is very genuine and very real. You're not someone who is just going to say I love you to people for the heck of it. You're going to really mean it when you say it. And like I said, your words have a lot of value. So when you say things like that to people, it really stays with them forever. It really does, pile number two. And I don't think you always realize this. You don't always see the ripple effect you've had on people, especially from your past. But people really look up to you, if that makes sense. Pile number two. Yeah. Shuffle some oracle and see if I missed anything. So we have a bunch of cards. Pile number two, we have the hawk, we have the coyote, we have the lynx, we have the peacock, we have the loon, and we have a lot of birds. And I think this again sort of signifies your ability to remove yourself from any sort of situation you're going through, especially difficult situations, and you can access and analyze what is the best course to take because you do have this aerial point of view on things. And this could also be my pile of avian star seeds. And a lot of y'all could identify as birds or even lyran. We have cats here as well. But there is this very bird cat-like energy about you, which is again very alluring because you can never really have a pet cat. You can never really have a pet bird, right? They have to choose you. You don't choose them. A lot of people can go and get dogs, but I think even for a cat, the cat has to accept you. It's not like a dog where it's unconditional. You sort of have to prove your love to them, and then they will decide if you are worthy enough of being graced by their presence. And you may have a lot of pickacard around you. You may have a lot of people who are really fighting and wanting your attention, but whoever you choose, they feel super special. And you could very much play the field over here, Pylamata, if that's what you wanted. And I feel a lot of y'all even have had in your past, and that is totally okay. It's totally fine. But I do think right now you're focusing on what you truly want, and you're really seeing what is it that truly matters, and you're not giving things energy that don't truly matter anymore. And like I said, you have this messenger energy, and this is just confirmation. Thank you, Spirit. Like I said, Spirit speaks through you. Spirit is sending you messages. Open your greater vision to see the signs. Focus on your priorities, eliminate distractions. You have a bright future. Let yourself ascend to new heights. And you're constantly supposed to get into like a hobby, for example, make it your passion, then somehow it becomes a career. You do everything there is to do, and then you just move on to the next thing. And by that, what I'm also getting is you're very multifaceted, pile number two. And I think you just have to allow yourself to be who you are in that given moment. And you might change. You might not be the same person that you are right now tomorrow. And that is okay. And I think you need to get used to your own duality, which can get very difficult to navigate, especially in this 3D world, right? And we have Coyote, Revealer of Truth, and Lynx, Keeper of Secrets. So like I said, you're very good at retracting. You're very good at being on your own. And I think you realize that you are better off on your own most times. And I think you also understand that it's going to take someone super and extra special just like you to be with you. And I do feel if you're single in this file, you do have the right person coming in, and you're very balanced. You know how to be quiet. You know when to be quiet. You're very, like I said, you're very strategic about what you share. Even the things you post, you only post things that you want people to know, pile number two. And there is still so much intrigue and mystique around you. I do feel there's this also the sense of gossipy energy around you, which just adds to this allure, right? Because there's so much energy put on you through a lot of people. So you become the sort of a satellite for energy, if that makes sense. And you just start emanating even more energy. And even if people put their dense energies on you, I do feel you are very good at alchemizing things. Even if you are doing it unconsciously, you just get it and you do it, and you don't dilly-dally. You do it right then and there. Once things start making sense to you, you act upon it. That's what I'm really picking up for you as well. And Lunas, again, it's that same intuitive energy which says listen to your song in your soul, trust your intuition as you have a way of knowing, emerge from the busy life and seek more solitude, recognize that you're unique and you are loved. So by that, what I'm really picking up is you feel not a lot of people get you. You're very good at problem solving, but not a lot of people come to your aid when you really require it. And I do feel that there is a deeper reason to that. It's because you are like in a separate league. You are in a league that is a little more advanced, and you are a pathfinder. You just know how to help people, and you also know how to help yourself. So I think if you actually went and you asked people for help, they would like put you in more trouble, if that makes sense. So you would be better off finding answers that you need, seeking solitude. And it's only in those quiet moments of just being very relaxed and not doing anything specifically, that's when you will get these answers that you need. I am picking up that you do have a very powerful inner sonar which works very strongly. So anything you ask, the answers come to you. All you have to do is be quiet enough to listen to them, and that helps you become this very charismatic natural leader kind of a person with the peacock. And peacock is all about vibration, because it communicates by shaking its feathers, right? And you have this, you're just emanating this beautiful radiant peacock like energy. You were born to shine and inspire. Practice humility to avoid jealousy. Be grateful for life and more good things will come. Be true to yourself and recognize your brilliance. So I think this is a little more this is something you don't really tell a lot of people, but I'm picking up this very earth sign kind of energy. I'm getting this very Taurus Capricorn energy. You don't even have to be these signs, but Taurus and Capricorns, they're very, very possessive, even if they don't let on how possessive they truly are. And it's not like the negative toxic kind of possessiveness. It's the sense of really having each other. And I really feel that's the case with you in this pile. And I feel you're just waiting for the right person to really just express your love and unravel the deep feelings in your heart. Because again, it's like you just don't have the right people to share it with. So just know that the right people will come in for you. And just because a lot of people find you attractive doesn't mean they necessarily get you. So, and I think you have become very discerning over time. So I don't even need to tell you about, snakes and leeches in your life that will try to parasitically drain you. So be very aware of that. You may have a lot of people that may want to come back into your life, but who wouldn't? Especially, especially your exes, because they really have lost something very special, even if they don't recognize it right away. And you may not have gotten that "I shouldn't have let you go" apology, but just know that your exes are really sad right now. I don't know, that was just like a random channeled message that just came through. So again, needless to say, I don't think you should entertain anything or anyone from your past. And it's almost like a test. The more you're able to let go, the more you will prove that you do deserve blessings, and you will be given more blessings when you pass this test. And you're very charismatic. You're always going to be charismatic. You have always been charismatic, and you just need to see this about yourself more. You just need to look in the mirror every day and give yourself those positive affirmations, because sometimes you just forget who you are, pile number 2. So just remind yourself. Any other messages? Yeah, that's all I have for pile number 2. Again, it's a general reading, so please take what resonates, leave the rest. And if you like my style of reading, please like this video. Share, subscribe, comment. It means a lot. It helps the channel grow. And if you want to reach out for a private reading, you can definitely do that. My email ID and my Instagram handle are given in the description box below. So you can definitely reach out for a private reading. And I will see you guys in the next reading. Thank you. Hello, pile number 3. If you chose Tarot of the Witch's Garden, this is your reading on why are people addicted to your energy? Why are people obsessed with you? Angels, ancestors, spirit guides, ascended masters, star family, help me tap into why are people so obsessed with my pile number 3s. Okay, pile number 3, we have Justice, we have Judgment, Ace of Wands, 10 of Cups, we have Knight of Cups, 5 of Swords, Page of Swords, the Empress, and the World card. And my eyes are definitely going to the Empress, and you don't even have to be a woman, but you're very much in your divine feminine energy, and I would say you have the most sort of alluring. I would say you have the most sort of alluring and attractive energy about you, even if you're a guy, because you do have this sort of a siren call that you just emit just very naturally. I think you're just very naturally super sensual. You could have any prominent Venus placements, and even if you're not trying to come off as being seductive and sultry at times, you just do. And I think people find it super attractive because they know that you're not doing it on purpose. They know that you're not consciously doing this. It's just the way you're programmed. It's just who you are, and it's like you have this natural fragrance which just attracts people to you. So that is something that makes you super attractive. Even if you're like a guy, girl, anything in the middle, it doesn't matter. You have this divine feminine energy where you can just attract things to you, even if you always don't know how to manifest. You always do get what you want, even if it is not something you have manifested consciously. You just get it. And I think you need to be a little more conscious of it. You need to even look at your past, because you will see patterns where you were able to just get something out of the blue that you were desiring. And I think you do have a lot of telepathic bonds with people, so you may randomly start thinking about someone because they're thinking about you. So be a little conscious of it, especially if it's someone you don't want to think about, maybe like an ex-friend or your loser ex or whatever. If you get random thoughts about them, they're probably thinking about you. That was again like a side message over here, and you are definitely karma to a lot of people. You're like a walking, talking karma, I would say. We have justice and we have judgment, and they're very similar energies, yet they're very, very different energies. And you always come out on top. You always are very balanced. You're like a cat who always lands on their feet. And this is also something that makes you super attractive. And even if you went through the most difficult things, pile number 3, it doesn't seem like you have gone through those things. It's like not looking. No one can look at your face and be like you've been through war, whether it was literal or metaphorical, over and over again. And I feel you do have this warrior-like energy. You do understand when it's time to battle, it's time to battle. And you switch up your feminine energy. And I think people also don't understand that there's always a sort of dual nature, and that's why we have like dark goddess energy. That's why we have like Kali, if that makes sense, right? It's sort of this wrathful energy of a Dakini that you do have, and people don't always acknowledge that about women, right? Or feminine energies in general, but that always exists, and it's sort of like an auto switch. When you go into self-destruction, you just take everyone out with you, and this again makes you super, super powerful, because you are always reborn, and you're always sort of refined. You always glow up a little more, and you always come back to your innocence, even after, like I said, the worst of the possible things that could have happened to anyone in this world. And I do feel that has happened to you, because it takes a lot to be an empress. No one is just an empress by fluke or by nepotism or anything like that. It is daily cultivation of your own garden. That's what makes you an empress. An empress, when she's not chilling on her sofa, she's in that 8 of Pentacles energy, putting in that work every day, all the time, to get what she wants. So I feel a lot of y'all are working super hard in this pile. So just know that whatever you're working, you will achieve it. You're going to succeed even in ways you probably couldn't imagine. And you may feel demotivated at times, but you will always find the fire to keep going forward. So don't let other people's words pull you down. Don't let other people hold you back. Don't care about whose feathers you're ruffling, because honestly, you're supposed to ruffle a little feathers in this lifetime. You're supposed to speak your mind and even offend people, so they would be triggered and they would start healing. So you could very much be my pile of truth speakers, and you always speak the truth, immaterial of who you're hurting, even if it's your parent. I feel pile number 3 very strongly in this pile, I would say. I think a lot of people also see you as very controversial. I do feel a lot of people see you as very, very controversial. People see you as very exciting. Like, you would be the person who would be gossiped about, because you always have something going on in your life, even if you just want to get through the day. You're just naturally glamorous. Pile number 3 is what I'm trying to say. Empress, she's a very glamorous lady, right? And we have Page of Swords. So like I said, your communication is also very articulate. You could be very nuanced with your discourses over here. And I feel a lot of y'all in this pile are super single, so just know that the right person is coming in for you. You're going to have your version of the white picket fence here, whatever that looks like. And on this 10 of cups, we have 2 women, so you could very much be queer over here. So just know that you will eventually find acceptance from your family if that is something you're struggling with, and you will get a partner who will really love you for who you are, and you're not going to have to compromise or water yourself down or not be yourself. And I do feel this person will really love you for who you are. And I'm not saying you're not going to fight. You're going to have a lot of fights, but still there's just going to be so much relaxation for you, because I do feel in order to be the empress, an empress, she has her own dominion, she has her own kingdom to rule over, just like the emperor. She's not just the wife to the emperor. She is the empress. She has her own duties, her own kingdom to look after, her own welfare to look after, and that's who you are. And I would say don't even go out looking to date, because you will just attract people that you don't want to be with. You don't want to be with any more cringe people, I'm sure, right? And I do feel you've had a lot of relationships that have just been super humiliating, but I do feel you've learned a lot in those relationships. So coming back to what I was saying is, again, I do feel your ex is trying to come in this reading, but we're not going to give him any energy. And what I would say is just keep doing you. And I do feel the right person will just fall into your lap at the right time. So I would not even say waste your time on dating apps if that's something you're doing. Don't actively seek out love. I do feel love will find you when you really don't feel the need for it, because you're super abundant. Even if you don't have a lot of financial abundance, it's in your destiny. You're going to create it for yourself, and it's not even what you create, it's your ability to create again and again. That is your superpower. I think that's what you need to focus on, and that's what you really need to remember over here, pile number 3. I think you need to go back to feeling romantic again, just about life. I think you've stopped romanticizing life, and I get it. You've had to put on different masks just to survive and thrive, and you will get back to a place where you can start dreaming again, start daydreaming again. I feel a lot of y'all want to paint, draw, write a book, really indulge in those very feminine, very beautiful, creating art, really taking your time to create art, right? Like a painter takes forever just to complete one petal of the flower, right? Because you just get so lost in the painting, right? Again, just for it to your situation, but you're supposed to have this sort of a ego death. You're supposed to have this disillusion of your ego doing these very beautiful feminine things, and you will be able to create something very real yet ethereal that will inspire a lot of people. So I do feel a lot of people in this pile need to nurture their feminine aspects a little more, because that will even help you make money if that is what you're worried about. And I do feel this pile particularly, you're supposed to create your abundance through your feminine abilities. That's why you have them. Not everyone can paint beautifully, right? And I'm just giving a painting example, but for it to your situation, I feel a lot of y'all are very good at moving. A lot of y'all are dancers, yoga teachers, whatever you do over here, it comes to you effortlessly for a reason. Even if you put in that work every day, you still have a gift, and it is your decision, and it's your choice, and it's also your duty and your responsibility to nurture that gift every day in whatever way you can. So I think the more you're able to just show up and be yourself and really honor yourself, I think you just need to learn to honor yourself, because you do identify at least a part of yourself as super divine, and you are supposed to be like a bright star in the dark night sky to a lot of people. You have this very ethereal essence, and that is also something that makes you super attractive to people, and people want you but they can't have you, right? We all want twinkling stars, but we cannot have them. We can just look at it from afar, just shining, being itself, and that's who you truly are, and that's your true essence as well. And this is why a lot of people find you super super attractive, and you are destined for great things. You're definitely destined for greatness, pile number 3, and you wouldn't have come so far otherwise. Just think about it. Think about it to yourself. You wouldn't have been able to come this far if it wasn't for something grander and something even bigger than yourself. So I think patience is also going to be very rewarding to you over here. And I would say the longer it takes for you to get something, the better and the sweeter the fruit will be for you, if that makes sense. Shuffle some oracle. See if I missed something. Okay, pile number 3, we have the cougar, we have the dragon, we have the sea turtle, we have the ram. And cougar reads, in silence you find power, claim your leadership role and take action. You know where to go and what to do. You have the courage and the confidence to succeed. So I feel a lot of y'all are very scared to be known. Y'all are very scared to be in the public eye. And it's a part of your destiny. You just cannot escape it. Trust me. Just learn to show up and be the best version of yourself. I feel a lot of y'all are trying to hermit a little longer. You're just trying to stretch and see how much can you hermit than to go out and be with people, because yes, it is draining, but you're supposed to help people. You're supposed to be a pillar of light to a lot of people, and you cannot keep doing that always by being in your room. There are times when you have to step out and be with people to share what you have learned in your isolation. So I think that's very important. And we have the dragon, which reads supernatural. You are the ancient wise sage. You can shapeshift at will. Mastery is your destiny. Rise with dignity. And I think this just confirms everything I've been trying to express about your ethereal nature and how you can create something in the very real world, but yet it is something very divine. And you are you're very moldable, and you have a lot of depth, and you have this ability to shapeshift, pile number 3, and that is very beneficial for you, because I think your own personal ego, it shifts a lot. And you're very comfortable with shifting your ego and dissolving it and humbling yourself, and that makes you, again, a very broken character, if that makes sense in a video game. You're just overpowered to the max, because it's like you have been built with all the nicest things, if that makes sense. You have the intuition, you have the looks, you have the intellect, you have the charm, you know what to say. You're like a deadly combination of all the nicest things possible, if that makes sense. I'm just getting a lot of video games references for today for some reason. So a lot of y'all could even play video games in this file. Or a lot of y'all could find video games very nostalgic, especially if you used to play those video games as a kid. I know, like, for me, Nintendo is like super nostalgic. Whenever I see anything with Nintendo or any of those video game characters or graphics, it really takes me to this very nostalgic place in my childhood. So I feel that that may also be here for some of y'all. And by that also, what I'm getting is you still remain innocent regardless of what happens in your life. And again, this is something that not a lot of people understand given everything that you have gone through. But again, that is a part of your intrigue, it's a part of your mystique, it's a part of who you are. And not everything about you is meant to be seen by most people. Only really selected and special people really get to experience you for who you truly are in all your vastness, if that makes sense. By number 3, we have the sea turtle protection. You are a master of finding life's flow. Be in harmony with the rhythm and your path will unfold. Persevere and you will succeed. You have everything you need to be protected and be happy. And this just reminds me of a documentary I watched on turtles. I don't remember which specific turtles they were, but I think there were turtles in the Amazon forest, and they would have like floods, which would be mating season for a lot of these turtles, and the water would be so dark and murky, but they would just be able to navigate even in that darkness, and they would just know the right time to give birth and hatch their eggs, and sort of lay their eggs in the ground when it floods. So you have this inner compass of just knowing, and you get yourself out of some very difficult situations which could have really been detrimental, but you have this ability to avoid a lot of pitfalls. And I think you do need to acknowledge I think you do need to acknowledge this, that even if things were really bad, they could have been much worse. And it is your strength and your ability and your gift of foresight which has helped you assess and get the best sort of outcome for yourself, even if your physical terrain, even if your physical terrain was not very welcoming but was very hostile, you still managed to grow and thrive and create what you had to create regardless of all these challenges. So you need to, again, just recognize your divinity a little more, by number 3. And we have the ram, which again, perseverance. I think this is just something I've been going on and on about, but we'll read it. You have many gifts. No problem can withstand the power of your mind. With patience, you can reach the mountaintop. Never give up, and good luck will follow. And I think this just affirms everything that I have been trying to say, that you will climb up the steepest of the slopes. That will not deter you from your path, because you have your eyes on the prize. You know you have to get to the mountaintop, and you know it's going to take some strength, and it's going to take a lot of endurance. and you have it, and you're going to get to wherever you need to be. And there's also this need to purify and heal yourself. So I think being around water is going to heal you a lot. And I think the more you're able to just purge these dense emotions and alchemize these dense energies, you'll get more magnetic, you'll get more attractive. If you want to lose the weight, you will lose the weight. If you want to gain the weight, you will gain. So again, fit it to your situation, but just know that you're going to be looking even more attractive. You're going to get even more magnetic, and your feminine energy and your feminine aura and your feminine superpower to attract whatever is it that you truly want is going to be at an all-time high than it has ever been. It's just going to multiply within itself. The Empress is card number three, right? And you're going to have blessings coming to you in threes. So just be open to that. Really, really just be open to receiving that, because it will come for you. I really feel that. Any other messages? Yeah, that's all I have for pile number 3. Again, it's a general reading, so please take what resonates, leave the rest. And if you like my style of reading, please like this video, share, subscribe, comment. It means a lot. It helps the channel grow. And if you want to reach out for a private reading, you can definitely do that. My email ID and my Instagram handle are given in the description box below, so you can definitely reach out for a private reading. And I will see you guys in the next reading. Thank you.